This is Driving with Myles. I'm a state certified instructor. I teach teens and adults. Today's tutorial is about the 10 tips that can help you pass your road test. If you don't know, I'm a state certified instructor. I teach teens and adults. I've been doing driver's ed about 21 years. I work for one of the nation's largest driver's ed companies. I do DMV test prep, road test prep. So at the end of this, if you find it brings you value, I need you to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and let's go ahead and get it. You have to come into this situation ready to practice. And if you don't practice turning left, turning right, parallel parking, merging on and off the freeway, making lane changes, you're going to be really nervous because you have a person who's been trained by the province or by the state or by the city that you live in, and they will be analyzing your driving. So it is stressful. I've been in this situation before. I've been in the back seat with my students, and your fingers are crossed. You hope they pass. So practice is super important. Practice hitting those parallel parks, merging, left turns, right turns. And then when you get to the test, it will be a natural situation. It won't be so foreign. Before you start the car, if you've seen my tutorials, and I hope you have, I always get into the car first. And what I normally do is put on my seatbelt. You've got to put on your seatbelt. You've got to let the road tester know that you understand the proper procedures. So put on your seatbelt, adjust your mirror, check to make sure the turn signals work. All those things should be in your pre-driving protocol. Okay. Always obey the posted limit. I get a lot of questions. Well, driving with Myles, can I go over the speed limit? My answer is no, because if you go over the speed limit, that is automatic failure. It depends on the situation. Most DMV testers or road testers, 99.99% will never have you do a dangerous maneuver to put themselves in danger or you as the driver. The same thing, let's look at the opposite part of the scale. If you go 5, 7, or 10 under, you'll be deemed a driver that is inexperienced because you're in a dangerous situation, okay? So you gotta pay close attention to your speed control, close attention to your skill set, and you wanna be consistent. Use your parking brake. I've had a lot of questions about parking uphill and downhill. If you park downhill, you need to turn your wheels all the way to the right, because if the car slips out of gear, the front of the car will roll into the curb, and then you have to pull up your park brake. The opposite is true if you're parking uphill. You turn your front wheels away from the curb and you apply that park brake. So those are some fundamental things you need to understand, okay? Remember to at least stop park brake before you pull away. So those are some things you need to master. Stopping at stop signs. As you approach the stop sign, try to have a really smooth stop. Don't slam your brakes. Don't do a rolling stop. You want to start slowing down smoothly and effectively and easily. Had a complete stop, look left, right, and left. And whatever the DMV tester, road tester has you do, go ahead and do that. Use your turn signals. This is the fundamental thing that I stress in level 1. You've got to use your turn signals. This communicates to everyone. You have the blinker in the back. You have the flashing light in the front. That turn signal communicates if you're making a left, if you're making a right, if you're making a lane change. Build solid habits. Always use your turn signal. Making turns. It seems really easy, but some of those areas fail students. You have to have a complete stop. You need to look left, right, left. After you make that complete stop, then whatever direction your DMV tester, road tester tells you to do, you need to look, check traffic, and then complete your turn. And then cancel your blinker. You'll lose points if you go too fast or too slow. You want a smooth, steady speed, and you want to be consistent. Parallel parking. That is the huge one. You have to practice this, and it terrifies students. The failure rate is quite high for parallel parking. You've got to learn how to parallel park. I have some great tutorials on parallel parking, lining your car up, reversing back slow, cutting that wheel all the way to the right. So the rear of the car goes in to the right, and then you're consistent. You've got to practice those parallel parking skills to be consistent, because the location I'm in, you do the parallel parking first. I do have a tutorial on that, so you need to take a look at that. You must be able to understand how far your car needs to go back and then cut the steering wheel all the way to the right. So the rear goes into the right, and then the front swings out. Those things are super important. You can't rely on your mirrors when you parallel park. You've got to look out of your window. So you want to be consistent with your parallel parking. Changing lanes. Your DMV tester, road tester will ask you to change a lane. They won't tell you to check your blind spot. They won't tell you to look in your mirror. They won't tell you to use your blinker. You've got to be consistent in your driver's education practice, and you practicing with your mom, dad, sister, brother, to know, hey, if I have to make a lane change to the left, mirror, turn signal, blind spot. If I have to make a lane change to the right, mirror, turn signal, blind spot. You've got to look over that shoulder. You've got to check that blind spot. And that DMV tester, road tester has got to see that consistently. You've got to check your blind spots. If you don't know what blind spots are, those are the areas right by the rear of your doors. Okay, there's blinds. There are four: left side, right side, front, and back. So you've got to check those blind spots. And then, of course, number 10, you got to be a defensive driver, because pedestrians will walk out in front of you. Cars may run lights. People are not paying attention. So when you are a consistent driver who practices defensive driving skills, you're going to hit that mark, and that is super consistent. So let's review. I'm a state certified instructor. I teach teens and adults. I've been doing driver's ed 21 years. I need you to subscribe to my channel. It's called Driving with Myles. I have about 207 videos that have driver's education tutorials. Enjoy my content. Please comment. Thank you for the thumbs up. And I do appreciate you. I will be going on later today. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask right now. If not, I'm going to go ahead and sign out. And I have a couple of videos I want to post. So I just want to say thank you for all the support.